Hey, hi everyone. So my name's Justin. I just want to tell you a little bit about myself and my beginnings as a nurse. As you could see in my introduction video yesterday, I'm gonna start making videos now. But yeah, I'm 31 years old, originally from upstate New York. I have been a nurse now for almost 6 years. I started my nursing, about to be 6 years. I started my nursing journey in 2020 at the height of the pandemic. Before I became a nurse, I worked as a nursing assistant for probably 5 years before that. So altogether now, since 2016, it's almost been a whole decade in healthcare. But yeah, my journey began in 2016. I moved to Buffalo, New York, and I started at Sisters of Charity Hospital. And there I was a float nursing assistant. So I floated to all the different units, labor and delivery, medicine. I went to surgery. Sometimes if they needed me, I would go to the ER. And that was when I really discovered that I love the nursing field. As I progressed through the different positions, I went from a nursing assistant to a immediate treatment assistant, which is like a type of a PCT, or a patient care technician. I did that for a year and a half, and that was at Mercy Hospital, which is a very big hospital in Buffalo, New York. After that, I went back to Sisters Hospital, and I worked in the OR as a surgical supply technician, which was a fancy anesthesia tech. So I did that for a while before I finally got hired at what would be my last job in Buffalo, which is, second to last job in Buffalo, which is Erie County Medical Center. And it was so much fun. I loved it. I learned so much. I went from fresh. I worked as a clerk. I then found my interest in the emergency department, and I got my first position as an ED tech in February of 2020. And from the ED tech, I graduated nursing school. The first time, this was my LPN, and I left ECMC briefly and went to work with the LGBTQ community at Evergreen Health, which was a phenomenal experience. I loved every minute of it. From there, I went back to Erie County Medical Center, and I worked in the ER for a short time. The ER was like my family. It still is there. And then in 2022, I got a big offer to become a travel LPN, and I traveled to New York City. And that was one of my biggest dreams and accomplishments, because I always wanted to go. So I worked at a skilled nursing facility in Rye, New York. I met and learned so much. I met so many people and learned so much there. I can't really go into details because of HIPAA. But it was one of the most amazing experiences I've had. Everyone was so welcoming. I learned so much from everybody. And then in September of 2022, I started working with people experiencing homelessness in New York City as a LPN supervisor. And that taught me so much of empathy and learning not to judge people, even though I really didn't judge to begin with. But it really opened my eyes to what people experience versus the small world I was used to in Buffalo and Rochester. It really opened my eyes to that. I was a supervisor for a while before I moved on to working in Queens, New York as a telemetry nurse, or a telemetry LPN, because I didn't graduate with my associate's degree yet. But yeah, I did that for a brief time. And then I worked with the LGBTQ community again in New York City with a fabulous company, Callan Lord. And that was one of the best experiences I've had. I got to do so many firsts, I would say. I got to give the first sub-Q HIV injection, which was like groundbreaking for me. I got to work with so many wonderful people, and I loved every minute of it. From there, I went back to being a LPN supervisor with people experiencing homelessness. I did that until I graduated nursing school for the second time. I got my associate's degree, and I brought many good ideas this time around when I worked as a supervisor. I had their first sexual education fair, which I involved like every staff member there in creating posters. And then I received my RN license, and I worked at Harlem Hospital, which was I would say my first RN position on a med-surg unit. It really taught me med-surg wasn't my thing, and that's okay, because it takes a while to find your specialty. And now I work for a ED in the Bronx, and it's amazing, to say the least. I get to make a difference in a lot of people's lives, and that's rewarding for me in my work. Yeah, that's my progression through nursing now. As far as like my certifications go, I have a diploma in nursing, in practical nursing, and that I got from a BOCES program in Erie County, and I graduated in 2020 and was licensed a month later. I got my associate's degree from Excelsior University, which was 2 years of hard work. But yeah, I did that. Now I'm going for my bachelor's and master's in nursing education. I will probably go on further after that, but right now my goal is set on that, and it's a great feeling to know that I have made it this far in my career. And yeah, so that's a little bit more about me. Thank you. Please subscribe and check out my TikToks.